I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Today, Utah is honored to have Mr. Elegant Washburn with us. Let me introduce the background of him. Mr. Allen is currently employed as Planning and Capital Allocation Executive in Group Finance of Tenaga Nasional Berhad PNB. With almost 3 years of work experience, he assists and empowers fresh graduates, especially from accounting, finance, and economic background, by sharing contents pertaining to basic work ethics and procedures in LinkedIn, and accommodating the inspiring young talents by conducting free webinars. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us start off the session by welcoming the speaker of the day, Mr. Allen.
Good evening, Utah team. And first and foremost, I'd like to express my gratitude and gratefulness to Utah team for conducting this session. So without further ado, can you please type 1, maybe if you can hear me? Or perhaps, all right, perfect. Okay, now I'll share the screen. Okay, can you see the screen? Maybe you can just type 2 if you can see the screen. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so in today's session, I'll be conducting on the fundamentals of Microsoft Excel. So before I proceed, what is Microsoft Excel? Maybe I can show you the magics I can use in Microsoft Excel. So for instance, in this Excel file over here, okay, so if you can see this Excel sheet, data validation drop-down list, maybe you can just type 3, okay, so that I can just go on the correct flow with you. All right, perfect, that's good. So now if just same, in this list here, maybe I just type perhaps, you know, maybe Arsenal, okay, if I choose to click on Arsenal, you will notice that there is a changes on the ranking and also on the chart or the graph. Now, if just say I choose to click on Manchester United, okay, so you will notice that there is a changes on the ranking and also the graph, okay. And the next thing is combo box, okay. So I just want to show you a teaser, something like a trailer. Okay, what is this Microsoft Excel? How you want to create this? So now if you just say you are an accountant or you're a finance, okay, you are dealing with forex, foreign exchange. So in this case, if just say I go to this drop-down list, I click here, and then I just click USD. So you'll notice that there will be a changes in the graph, whereby the title will recorded as or will be typed as USD currency. So if just say I go to Malaysia Ringgit, you'll notice there is a changes, right? Okay, the same thing, I can also change the inflation rate, and you'll notice that there is changes in the graph. Okay, all right, so let me show you another magic as well. Can you see this sheet? Multi-dependent drop-down list, maybe you can type number 4. Okay, okay, so basically right now I'm just showing you the teaser. Okay, what is this Microsoft Excel can afford us, or how it can provide us. Okay, so if you just say I want to know about maybe perhaps English League, okay, since we speak English and also we know about the English Premier League, so perhaps I click the English Premier League, and then you notice, okay, there will be the clubs from England, right? So when I click English Premier League, there will be the clubs from England. However, if just say I want to know about the German league, okay, the German Bundesliga, so I click German Bundesliga, and I'll notice that it will only appear the German teams. Okay, so this is the powerful thing about Excel. You can choose data, you can even change it accordingly for your events, in recording profit and loss, or if you have business, you can record a transaction. So that's the purpose of Excel. So now I'm going to teach you the first thing of Microsoft Excel. All right, I'll go back here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to teach today is data validation. Okay, data validation is basically the drop-down list that I showed you just now. So first thing is I go to data. Okay, I go to data. Okay, again I repeat, I go to the data, I go to data validation. Again I repeat, I go to the data tab. Okay, this is what they call as the tab. I go to the data tab, I go to data validation. So once I click the data validation, okay, a window will pop out. Okay, so can you see this window? Maybe you can just type number 5 if you can see this window. All right, perfect. That's good. Okay, so in this window, if you notice here, there is a word allow. So in this allow, so when I click list, okay, again I repeat, in this allow section, when I click list, a source tab will appear, a source function will appear. So what I do, I go here and I click, okay, for instance, this data over here, and I press OK. Okay, so in this case, you'll notice that this is a drop-down list. Okay, can you see this magic over here? Okay, maybe I show you again. Okay, again I repeat, I go to data tab, I go to data validation, and then a window will pop out. I click list. Okay, again I show you. First is data, then you go to data validation. Once you click data validation, a window will pop out. Okay, this window will tell, okay, allow. Allow means, okay, any value you click list. Okay, so once you click list, source, okay, there will be a source function over here. What you do is you just highlight this. Okay, if you have any data, just say your student's name, or maybe a company's name, or perhaps your subjects. So you can just put this in a drop down list. Then what I do, I press OK. So once I press OK, okay, just now when I click, just say developer tab, this thing will appear as developer tab. So if I click maybe formulas, so this thing will appear as formula. So basically what is this data validation function is for you to create a drop down list. Okay, for you to create a drop down list. Okay, so now maybe I show you one example. Okay, one example so that you can feel what is this Excel is all about, how it can just articulate the data. Okay, so now can you see this graph over here? Maybe you can type number 6 if you can see this sheet. All right, perfect. Okay, if you notice here, okay, there is a scenario called base case. Okay, now if you are working in a company, of course, there are a lot of scenarios. Like, especially in this pandemic, we can either work from home or work in office or go to classes or study from home, online classes. So now in the base case, you'll notice this is how the graph being presented. But however, if just say I want to know a downside case, especially with this current pandemic, a downside scenario. So you'll notice that there's a changes over here, and you will notice this drop down list. When I right click, okay, when I right click, I can just move it anywhere I want. Okay, perhaps I can move it here, and also I can move it here. Okay, I can just maybe move it here. So this is not a data validation drop down list. Instead, this is what they call as the combo box. Okay, if you notice over here, this is the drop down list over here. This is actually a combo box. So now you will ask me, Alan, how am I supposed to create a combo box? Okay, so I go back to the example earlier. Okay, okay, this thing again I repeat is from data validation. Okay, this thing is actually from the data validation. Now I'm going to teach you on the combo box, the example that I showed you earlier. Okay, the combo box. So what I do is I have to ensure that I have the developer tab. Okay, I have to ensure that I have the developer tab. Okay, so if you notice in your laptop or in your Excel file, there will be no developer. So what you must do, you must, okay, go to the file. Okay, you go to the file, you click the file. So once you click file, okay, can you see options over here? If you can see options, maybe you can type yes. All right, perfect. So what you do, you click the file. Okay, you click file, you go to options. So once you click options, you will notice a window will pop out. Okay, can you see this big window over here? All right, so all right, that's good. Okay, so what you do is you go to customize ribbon. Okay, can you see the word here, customize ribbon? So you click at the customize ribbon. Okay, and you go to developer. Okay, if you notice over here, there's a word developer. Okay, there's a box over here. You can tick the developer box, and then what you can do, you can press OK. Okay, you tick the developer box and then you press OK. Of course, you will ask me, Alan, is there any charges or do I need to pay anything? For your information, all this over here is free. Okay, it's free, it's available. Every laptop, every Excel file, there will be a developer tab. It's just that either you tick it or you untick it. So if you untick, there will be no developer tab. If just say you tick this, there will be a developer tab. Okay, there will be a developer tab. So what is this purpose of developer tab? Okay, so can you see this insert, this luggage over here, insert? Maybe you can type number 7 if you can see this. Okay, this luggage over here. All right, perfect. That's good. Okay, so what you do is you go to this insert. Okay, the word here is form controls. Again, I repeat, form controls, and then you go here, the second box, which is combo box. Okay, the second item, which is combo box. So when I click this combo box, I can draw a drop down list here. Okay, I can draw a drop down list here. What I do is, okay, I press right click. So if just say you are using your mouse, okay, you are using your mouse, you just press right click, or you are using your laptop where you have a keypad, you press right click. Okay, I repeat, you press right click. So when you press right click, this menu will pop out. Okay, this menu will pop out, and you will notice the word here, format control. So when I press format control, okay, another window will pop out. Okay, another window will pop out. So can you see this window? Maybe you can type number 8 if you can see this window. Okay, perfect. That's great. Okay, so input range. So input range refers to the data that you want to include in this drop down list. So now if just say I want to include in this drop down list data validation developer tab, okay, maybe what I can do, I can just highlight. Okay, I highlight this. Okay, cell link. Okay, you can put anywhere you want. Cell link is not the important thing. Okay, you can put it here, and then you press OK. So now you'll notice the magic. So when I click this arrow over here, I can click data validation. I perhaps can click keyboard shortcut. Okay, so you'll notice when I click data validation, number 1 is pop out. So if I click just say formulas, number 5 is pop up. So you will ask me, Alan, what is this number 1, number 5? If you notice over here, okay, this data is arranged, okay, from the top to the bottom. So this is the first data, second data, third data, fourth data, and the fifth one. So now if just say I click data validation, so this is the first data. Now you just say I click keyboard shortcut, this is the third data. Okay, so this is for you to connect to the formula later. But now, what is the, of course you will ask me, Ellen, what is the difference between a data validation drop down list and also a combo box drop down list? You'll notice these two is a drop down list. But what is the difference? Apa bezanya? Okay, so the difference is this thing is only appear to in one cell. Okay, it's only appear in one cell. However, this thing over here, you can move. You can just say you can put it on the right, you can put it towards the left, you can put it down, you can put it on the bottom corner on the right. So you can actually move this combo box. And second thing is, okay, second thing is you can adjust the size. Maybe I want to put it smaller. So this is a very small one. Maybe I want to put it very big. This is a big one. Okay, so basically this combo box for you to adjust, you can move. Okay, and however, for this data validation, you can't move. Maybe you can just move like this. This is the only way for you to move the data validation drop down list. Okay, and all right, this is how you can move, and this is how you can adjust. Okay, so I've already taught you on data validation and also developer tab combo box. Now let's go to the next one, which is the keyboard shortcut. Okay, now next thing I'm going to teach you on the keyboard shortcut. I strongly believe that all of you knows Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Whether it's our assignment, whether it's about plagiarism, or whether it's our thesis, we all of us know about Ctrl C and Ctrl V. But now I'm going to teach you the keyboard shortcut that being used in Excel. So maybe perhaps you can use this once you're working later, or perhaps when you are conducting events in the future. Okay, so now what I do, I'm going to go to this keyboard shortcut. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to teach you. Okay, so before I proceed, please type number 9 if you can see this screen over here. Okay, please type number 9 if you can see the screen here. All right, perfect. That's good. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you about the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, that's maybe some of you might not know. Okay, what are the keyboard shortcuts being used? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to teach you is copy and paste. Of course, everyone knows Control C and Control V, but not everyone knows about Control Alternate V. Okay, I'm going to teach you that. Also, I'm going to teach you on formatting the cell. Control 1, Control G, Ctrl Shift L, Control T, Control F, Control H, and also Control K. Okay, so now let me proceed with example 1, which is Control C and Control V. Okay, there you go. Okay, maybe I can just zoom in so that you can see. Okay. Okay, maybe I need to zoom a little bit. Maybe you can see this. All right. So maybe I put here nasi lemak. Okay, nasi lemak and also the states. Okay. Of course, this is not about COVID cases. This is about the price of nasi lemak and the quantities of nasi lemak being sold in different states. So for example, in Perak, okay, in an example, okay, a fictional example. So the price of nasi lemak may be 1 ringgit. In Selangor, it's 3 ringgit. In KL, it's expensive, pricey, maybe 4 ringgit. So now, if just same, okay, to determine the income, what you do is price times quantity, okay? Price times quantity. This is a basic calculation for you to calculate the revenue. But I'm not going to teach you about accounting. I'm going to teach you about the Excel, the formulas. So now when I just say, I press Ctrl C and I press Ctrl V, you will notice that Y here is 0. Basically, if they say when I want to copy Ctrl C, okay, when I want to paste, why is 0? Why is not appearing as 100? Why the same color? Okay, so let me show you the magic here. All right. So now if they say I press Control C, again I repeat, I press Control C. Okay, I press Control Alternate V. Okay, Control Alternate V. So if you notice your Control Alternate, okay, the alternate button is located beside your space button. Okay, your space bar. Okay, if you are using your laptop, you'll notice that, okay, under the alphabet X and C, okay, there's an alternate button. Okay, or under the keyboard of comma, you'll notice there's an alternate button. So now when I press Control C, okay, Control C, Control Alternate V. So when I press Control Alternate V, this window will pop out. So can you see this window? Maybe you can type number 1 if you can see this window. All right, perfect. That's good. So now if over here, you will notice as paste special, there is all, there is formulas, there is value, there is format. So just say I want to paste value. Okay, when I paste value, okay, and I click here, I press OK, you'll notice 500. Okay, that means I'm copy this figure and I'm actually pasting the value. Now, what if just say, okay, maybe I show you a better example. Okay, maybe this is quite confusing, so I show you a better way to present it. Okay, so the same thing, I multiply this. So now if they say I Control C, okay, Control C, Control Alternate V. So Control Alternate V, I can use my mouse and click the value here, or I can press the alphabet V. Again, I repeat, I can press the alphabet V. So once I press the alphabet V, values, and then I press OK. So you'll notice it is 500, right? Okay, now you just say I Control C again, and now I'm going to paste as formulas. So what I do, I press F. So when I press F, formulas, I press OK, and you notice that this is a formula. Okay, so instead of you doing one by one manually, you can just Control C, then Control Alternate V, Control C, Control Alternate V. You go to the formulas, and then you press OK, and this is a formula. So what if just say I want to press this as format? If you notice over here, this is something like light reddish, okay, something like a reddish, okay. So when I press Control C, and then I go here, Control Alternate V, and then I paste as format, okay. I paste as format. Over here, you notice paste as format. So when I press format, there you go. You notice that same color. Okay. So when I press, I paste as format, it is the same color. Okay. So if they say you are using keyboard, okay, you don't have mouse because you are using your laptop. You don't have mouse. You only have your keypad. So you can use Control C, Control Alternate V, and then you can do whatever you want. Okay. Whether you can paste as value, you can paste as formula, or you can paste as format. Now, what if they say you have a mouse? Okay, you're using your computer or laptop. You also have a mouse, so mouse will be easy as well. So what you do, okay, copy, and then what you do, you press your mouse, you press right click. Okay, when you press right click, you will notice that a menu will pop out. Okay, a menu will pop out. So when you press, can you see your values? Maybe you can type number 2 if you can see the word values. Okay, all right, perfect. That's good. That's nice. So what you do is you press right click. Okay, maybe I repeat it again. Okay, I repeat it again. What you do is you Control C, or you can just copy. All right, you go here, and then you right click. Okay, once you press right click, okay, again I repeat, Control C, right click, and then you'll notice over here I can place as values. So this is a value. Okay, now if just say I want to place as formula, macam mana pula? How I'm going to do this? So right click, okay, you'll notice FX. Okay, the word FX means formula. Okay, FX formula. Okay, this is how you can do this. And if just say I want to right click, okay, I can do anything I want. Okay, I can paste as picture, I can paste in transpose. Okay, if just say okay, I'm going to give you another magic. So now if just say I'm going to copy this, okay, copy this. If you notice this 1, 2, 3, it is located vertically. It's located from the top to the bottom. So now what if just say I want to paste it horizontally? So I'm going to Control C. I'm going to go here, right click. Okay, can you see the word transpose? Can you see the word transpose? Maybe you can type number 3. All right, perfect. Okay, so when I press the word transpose, you will notice that this thing is presented horizontally because initially it was vertical, right? Vertical. So now you can place it horizontally. Okay, so that's the magic you can use. So I go to Control Home. So now if they say I want to do as formulas, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control C. Okay, and then I'm going to Control Alternate V, and then I press formulas. So this is the respective revenue or income that the company gets from selling the nasi lemak. So you can just do it instantly instead of just typing manually or using your calculator. This thing can be done from less than 10 seconds. Okay, so that's the purpose of this example. Okay, for you to teach you on Control C and Control Alternate V. However, if just say you are using your mouse, you can just press right click and then you can click anything you want. Okay, so now let's go to the next one, which is Control 1 and also Control G. Okay, Control 1 and Control G. So this thing, okay, now I'll go to the example 2. Okay, the second example over here. So of course, when I click this example, can you see this? Maybe you can type number 4 if you can see this. All right, perfect. That's good. Okay, maybe I need to zoom it so that you can see clearly. All right, perfect. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you on Control 1. Okay, so what is Control 1? Control 1 basically for you to format the cell. So now you just say the cell is just say 1. Okay, this is number 1. So maybe I want to change this maybe into a currency format. So what I do is I can go to Control 1. Okay, once I press Control 1, a window will pop out. Okay, a window will pop out. So you'll notice this window over here. So maybe you can type number 5 if you can see this window. All right, that's good. So once you press Control 1, so basically you can format the cell. Maybe you can change the color. Okay, maybe you can change the font. Okay, fill means the color, or perhaps the alignment. Okay, and also the formatting, maybe accounting format, currency format. Okay, you can do it what you want. But just say, if just say I'm working in a bank. Okay, just to share with you. Okay, for those, I believe that some of you might be from finance background. So just say I want to record this as just say financial year. Okay, basically if you are working in accounting or finance, okay, you will do a calculation based on the accounting year or the financial year. So instead of just typing FY manually, okay, maybe FY 2021, FY 2022, instead of doing this manually, I can actually do this by Control 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control 1. Okay, once I press Control 1, a window will pop out. Okay, a window will pop out. I'll go to custom. Okay, I go to custom and I can change the edit. Okay, I can edit. So perhaps what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to edit this, I'm going to put the apostrophe. Okay, when I put apostrophe, I put financial year. Okay, financial year. Okay, and then okay, when you're inserting a word, make sure you have a apostrophe, opening and closing apostrophe. Okay, and then followed by a hashtag. So the purpose of hashtag is represent number. Okay, the purpose of hashtag is to represent number. So now when I press OK, okay, of course you don't notice any difference. At the moment, you don't notice any difference. However, if just say I put 2021, notice that there's financial year 2021. If just say I put this, okay, I press 1. So you'll notice that 2021, 2022. So now if just say I drag this, the same. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so I can change this accordingly. So you will ask me, Helen, how am I supposed to do this? Okay, so now let me give you an example. Maybe I go to Control 1. Okay, I go to custom. Okay, I go to this cell. I can pick any cell I want. I'm going to delete this. Okay, I'm going to remove this. I put perhaps hashtag. Okay, apostrophe students. Okay, close the apostrophe and then I put okay. So maybe I can put here 22 students. So you have 22 students. Maybe I put here maybe okay, since this webinar is attended by more than hundreds, I put 100 students. Okay, so basically this is how you can format the cell. So control 1 is basically a simple shortcut for you to format your cell. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to teach you is control G. Okay, control G is basically is to go to function. Okay, basically it is to go to function. But before I proceed to guide you this, I just want to tell you what's the difference between a hard-coded cell and a formula cell. Okay, so before I proceed to teach you what is control G, let me share you what is hard-coded and formula. So basically hard-coded is anything that you input manually. Okay, anything that you input manually, that is a hard-coded cell. However, formula refers to any cell that has an equal sign. Okay, when it has an equal sign, it is a formula. That means I put here. Of course, people would think that these two key in manually, but the reality is this one is actually being typed. Okay, you type it manually. This thing over here is a formula that you link from other cell. So if they say now I put maybe 1, so this is the data that we input manually. But if they say I put equal 1 plus 1, so this is 2. So basically this data is a formula. Okay, it's a formula. So now I'm going to teach you control G. So if they say you are working in a bank, or you are working in an engineering company, and you are dealing with Excel, or you are dealing with students, okay, of course you want to know which cell is a formula and which cell is a hard-coded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control G. Again, I repeat, I'm going to press Control and G. So what's the Control G? When I click Control G, okay, you will notice a window will pop out. So can you see this window over here? Maybe you can type number 5 if you can see this. All right, that's good. Okay, that's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the special function over here. Okay, I'm going to click the special and you'll notice that there is a constant and formulas. Okay, constants refers to the cell which is hard coded. Constant, that means you type it, that is constant. Formulas means there is an equal sign. So now when I go to the formulas, just say I untick this text, okay, and I press okay. So you'll notice that the data being highlighted, all the data being highlighted is actually a formula. Okay, actually it's a formula. So now when I go to Control G again, I go to special, I go to formula. Okay, I press Control G, I go to special, I go to formula. Now I untick the number, I untick the logical, I untick the error. I press OK. Okay, so no cell is formed. All right. So now if just say I press Control G, I go to special, I go to constant, I remove the text, I press OK. Okay, just give me a minute. Control G, special, okay, constant, remove the text. You'll notice all the data over here is actually a constant. Why it's a constant? Because this one is actually hard-coded. Notice it is a hard-coded. Hard-coded means it is being typed manually. Okay, so let me show you again. Control G, you go to the special, you go to the formulas. Maybe you want to remove the text. Okay, press OK. So once you press OK, so you'll notice all this over here is a formula. So now why I'm teaching you this, why I'm sharing you this, because if you are working, sometimes some data are being key in manually, some data are being formularized. So you want to know which is formula and which is not. So Control G is the best way for you to determine which is a formula and which is not a formula. So what I can do is perhaps I go to home, I put yellow. So whatever is yellow, it is a formula. So now what if I press Control G, I go to special, I go to constant, I remove the text, I press OK. So you'll notice all the data over here is actually a hard coded. That means you key in manually, you input manually. So maybe I put this as perhaps blue color, or maybe I put a dark blue perhaps. Okay, so this is the data. Okay, so this is the data that you key in manually. So you'll notice that that's a constant. So now if just say I want to highlight this, so I press Ctrl G, I go to special, I go to constant, I remove all this, I press OK. So all these are being highlighted. Okay, all this being highlighted. So what I can do for the text, I put green color, maybe this green. Okay, so this is how it works. So this is actually very simple for you to determine what is formula and what is constant, and for you to format your cells immediately. Okay, all right, so I've taught you on Control G and also Control 1. So now let's look at the next thing, which is Control Shift L. Okay, Control Shift L. So basically Control Shift L is the keyboard shortcut for you to sort and filter, for you to arrange the data, for you to filter the data. Okay, so that's the purpose of Control Shift L. So let's look at this example over here. Okay, so before I proceed, can you see this data over here? Name, the company's revenue, profit. If you can see, maybe you can type yes. All right, that's good. You can type 6, so you can type yes. Okay, that's good. All right, so okay, so you can highlight over the data here. You can just highlight this. So once you highlight this, okay, make sure you highlight this. That means what I do is I highlight this data. Okay, I highlight this data. I press Control Shift L. Again, I repeat, Control Shift L. So you know the control button, the shift button. Shift button is there's two shift button. One is under the caps locks, another shift button on the right hand side, which is under the enter. So you press Control Shift Alphabet L. So once you press Control Shift Alphabet L, okay, Control Shift L, you'll notice there will be an arrow over here. There will be an arrow over here. So if you can see this arrow, maybe you can type number 6. All right, perfect. That's great. So what you can do is you can just arrange this data. So you'll notice some of the data, there is sick gases, echo. So it's very confusing because it's not sorted accordingly. So maybe what I can do is I press this here, this arrow over here, A to Z. So either I can sort A to Z or Z to A. So maybe I put A to Z. So this data is being sorted from alphabet A to alphabet Z. But why suddenly 711 is number 1? Because according to Excel, the numbers are being sorted first. Then only alphabet A, alphabet B, and then until Z lah. All right. So if just say I want to put Z to A, so sort Z to A. So I click the arrow. Okay. What I do is I click the arrow. I go to sort Z to A, and then I press enter. Okay, so you'll notice the data is being arranged from alphabet Z to alphabet A. Okay, so you can sort the data. Okay, and the same thing you can do is for revenue. You can actually sort. So for revenue, of course, this data is over here is numbers, right? It's numbers. So maybe I can arrange it. Okay, I press this button over here. I press it, and then I can arrange maybe the largest to the smallest. The largest to the smallest. So you'll notice this, that this is the largest, about 5 million. So when I go to the bottom, you'll notice that this is 88,000. So this is quite small. Okay, so you can arrange from the largest to the smallest, or you can also arrange from the smallest to the largest. Okay, small to largest. So this is how it can be. Okay, same thing can goes. Okay, net profit, you can just smallest to the largest or the largest to the smallest. You can do this. Okay, or you also can in fact arrange this accordingly. Maybe I can show you an example. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, this is another example. Control Shift L. Okay, Control Shift L. So now I can even sort. Okay, if you notice, this is all the dates. We have 2020, we have 2021. So what I can do is I can put it maybe in an ascending order. That means from the oldest to the newest. So from 2020 to 2021. Okay, maybe I need to zoom this so that you can see. Okay, so that you can see clearly. Okay, maybe I need to zoom a little bit out. All right, so you can see this clearly. So perhaps if just say I zoom maybe newest to the oldest. So this is the new dates until the oldest date, the previous date. But what if just say I want to filter it? Okay, what I taught you just now is sorting. But now I'm going to teach you on filtering. Okay, filtering means what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. So maybe I'm going to put before, okay, before. So today's date is 17 June 2021. So I want to sort any date which is before June 2021. So what I'm going to do is I press OK. So you'll notice that all this data over here, is actually before 17 June. But if just say, what if I just say I want to sort after? Okay, I clear, I go here, I go to date filters. Okay, again I repeat, I go to date filters, I press after. So once I press after, so maybe I can put 17 June 2021. So you'll notice all this data over here is actually after 17 June 2021. What if I want between? I want 17 June, okay? So what I can do is I go to, okay, they clear the filter from date. I go to data filter, okay, date filter. I put between. So when I put between, maybe I put just say January 1st, 2021 until 16 June, yesterday, 2021. So you'll notice this data is actually between the 1st January and the today's date. Okay, it's between these two dates. Okay, and also perhaps you can even sort, you can even filter for the cost. So you'll notice all these numbers over here is actually a cost. So what I can do is I can just filter it. Maybe I press here, I go to filter, I press between. So I want data which is greater than 1000 and also lesser than 2000. When I press OK, you'll notice that this data over here is between 1000 to 2000. So you can sort this. Okay, you can sort the data. You can do this in this way. All right, so I've taught you on Ctrl Shift L. So next, I'm going to teach you on Ctrl T. Okay, Ctrl T. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here, Ctrl T. Okay, just repeat. Okay, so Ctrl Shift L. So now when I press Ctrl T, okay, when I press Ctrl T, that means I go to this cell over here, any cell I want, I press Ctrl T. So once I press Ctrl T, this window will pop out. So can you see this window? Maybe you can type yes. Okay, type yes if you can see this window. All right, that's good. So what I'm going to do is I press OK. So once I press OK, you'll notice that this table over here will automatically be a table. Okay, you can actually, there's a sort function over here. Okay, instead of just pressing Ctrl Shift L, you can also press Ctrl T and just get the data you want. You can sort it, and you'll notice that there's a changes in color. Okay, maybe I can put it into green color or black color or orange. Okay, so it will be in a table format. It will be a table format, in a colorful table format. Okay, so that's how it works when you press Ctrl T. Okay, so now let me teach you on Ctrl F and Ctrl H. So just to share with you, Ctrl F, the word F is to find. Okay, Ctrl F is find, and Ctrl H is replace. Okay, Ctrl H is to replace. So now if they say I want to find, okay, maybe I want to find Arsenal. When I press the word Arsenal, I find next. You'll notice there's no Arsenal over here. In this particular sheet, there is no Arsenal. But what if I press options? Okay, I press options. I go, okay, within workbook. Okay, within workbook. That means if just say I press sheet, okay, when I press sheet, that means it will find around the sheet. But if just say I press workbook, okay, workbook, it will find around the workbook. So there you go, it find over here. Okay, so of course you'll notice, okay, if just say I want to type PSG, okay, the word PSG. So if now I press sheet and I find next, it won't be here because the word PSG is not here. But now if just say I want to find, I know that the word PSG is somewhere in this file, but I'm not sure where. So I can go to the workbook, I click here and then I find next. Once I press find next, there you go. Okay, so this is how you control find. So if you want to find in a particular sheet, you press sheet. If you want to find in a particular in a workbook, you press workbook. Okay, so now if you notice there's a word PSG, but I don't want the word PSG. Maybe I want to put the word, maybe perhaps Utah. So what I do, I can press Ctrl H. Okay, find what PSG. So I replace with Utah. Okay, since this session is for Utah campus, so replace with Utah. So what I do is I can either replace once or I can replace all. So if I replace one, so you'll notice that, okay, sheetbook, just give me a minute, okay, and then replace all. So you'll notice that all the alphabet here from PSG, it become Utah. Okay, let me show you the magic again so that you can see clearly. Maybe Utah, from Utah, maybe I put, let's say, Kampa. Okay, Utah, Kampa. So I want to change from Utah to Kampa. So when I press replace all these become Kampa. Okay, all right, so this is how you do Control F and also Control H. Okay, all right, so next thing is I've done with this keyboard shortcut. I've taught you what is Control C, Control 1, Control G, Control Shift L, and also this Control H. So let me teach you the next thing, which is Control K. Okay, so basically Control K is actually insert your hyperlink. Okay, insert your hyperlink. That means if you go insert over here, there's a tab called hyperlink. Okay, so Control K is actually to add a hyperlink. So now if just say when I click number 5, it goes to this sheet. Am I right? So now you just say I memang macam malas to go to other sheet. So what I can do is I go to home. I just type here home, Control K. Okay, once I press Control K, this window will pop out. So can you see this window over here? Maybe you can just type number 7 if you can see this window. All right, so what I can do is I go to home. I press OK. So now when I press home, I click here. Okay, if you notice, I click this thing over here. I click home. It goes to the home sheet. It goes to the home sheet. Now you just say I want to go maybe to the formulas. So what I can do, maybe I can just insert. Okay, just say insert a chart. Okay, a rectangle diagram. I put maybe formulas. Let me adjust this, make it big so that you can see this. Okay, so now you can see the word formulas. I adjust nicely. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this Control K. Again, I repeat, Control K. So once I press Control K and I just say I click OK, paste in this document, I put formulas, I press OK. So that means by just clicking this, I can straight away go to the formulas sheet. By just clicking the example 16, I can straight away goes to this example over here. Okay, so that's the purpose of Control K, for you to just play around the data. Okay, all right, so next I'm going to teach you is features function. Okay, I'm going to teach you the features function. So if you notice, first I start with the quick access toolbar. Okay, quick access toolbar. So what is the quick access toolbar? Quick access toolbar is the toolbar function that appears on your top left of your Excel file. So if you notice, most of your Excel file, I believe when you open your Microsoft Excel, there is Control S, Control Z, Control Y, save, undo, and redo. However, in my my Microsoft Excel file, there's a difference. There's a camera, there's a form. So you will ask me, Ellen, how am I supposed to customize my quick access toolbar? Very simple. You go to file, okay, you go to options, and then you go to quick access toolbar. Okay, I'm typing here so that you can perhaps record this. Okay, maybe you can jot this down. Okay, again I instruct you. So first thing is you go to file. Okay, you go to file, you go to options. Again I repeat, you go to options. So once you go to options, can you see the word here, quick access toolbar? Maybe you can type number 8 if you can see this, quick access toolbar. That's good, that's nice. Okay, you go to quick access toolbar, you go to all commands. So the moment when you go to all commands, you will notice that all these are being arranged or sorted in alphabetical order. So if just say I want to go to camera, okay, I believe that some of you might not hear the word camera. So let's go to the word camera. So once I go to the word camera, I press add and this camera will pop out. Okay, so the same thing I do for form. Okay, let's look at alphabet F. So you'll go to the alphabet F. Okay, we have alphabet D, E, and F. All right, so FORM is form, and there you go. So I go here, the word form, I add, and there you go. So basically you can customize this for all documents. You can customize this for all documents, or you can customize for this particular document. So it's up to you. You can customize for all documents or customize this for this particular document. Then once you do it, you press OK, and there you go. So now let me share to you what is the example of camera. Okay, so now if just say you have a data from Microsoft Excel and you want to paste it in your PowerPoint. Okay, so what you can do, you can either Ctrl C, right click, and paste as picture. Okay, paste as picture. So this is a picture. So basically this thing, you can actually paste this in your PowerPoint slides, or also you can paste this in your Microsoft Word if just say you have an assignment, or you can use the camera function. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to highlight this. Okay, I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to click on the camera over here. So can you see the word camera? Maybe you can type number 8 if you can see the word camera. Okay, that's good. That's nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the word camera, click here, and then I just click twice. So you'll notice this is actually the same thing as the picture. It's same, sama je. But what is the difference? Apa bezanya? So what's the difference is, if just say you notice that you made a careless mistake, you notice that the word Arsenal is, I mean, for quarter one, is not 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's just say 9999. Okay, just say 999. You notice that you made a careless mistake. So when you press enter, you'll notice that the word, this number here is being auto connected. However, this image, okay, since we Control C and Control V, Control C and Control V, the image remains the same. I mean, remains no changes. But however, when I put a camera over here, a camera function, you notice there's changes. Maybe I put maybe this, okay, instead of 100 degree, maybe I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when I press enter, you notice that there's a changes over here. So basically the camera is like a CCTV, okay, to record any changes. So you just say you made any careless mistake or any changes that need to be made, you can just use the camera function to auto connect. Okay, that's the purpose of camera. Basically this camera is actually like an image, but it's auto connected with your original data. Okay, so that's the camera function. It's like a CCTV. Okay, all right, so next I'll go to the next function, which is the form. Okay, let's go to the form function. So you'll notice the data over here is form. All right, form. So now if just say you are conducting an event, okay, you're conducting an event, just say a fundamentals of Microsoft Excel. So you want to create a database in an Excel. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight this. Okay, you highlight this, again I repeat, you highlight this, and you go to the form. So can you see the word form here? Maybe you can type number 9. Yes, camera can also work in a PowerPoint. Yes, you can just put in the PowerPoint. Okay, so again, I repeat, can you click number 9 over here? I'm sorry, click number 9, sorry, pull up. Can you see the word form? All right, that's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click the word form, and I press OK. Okay, again, I repeat, I press OK. So once I press OK, you'll notice this window is popping out. So what is the function of this window? This window will act like a database, like a menu. So just say we have students registered for this Excel program. So maybe I put just say 100. Okay, the student name, maybe I put Lee. Okay, Lee, maybe he's from University Utah Kampa. I press new. So you notice 100 Lee Utah Kampa. Maybe I put, okay, the next student, okay, the other candidate who joined is 101. Okay, his ID number is 101. His name is Alan. He's from maybe Uni 10. So I put new. So the data over here. Maybe there's also a public, okay, someone is not from Utah, not from Uni 10. So maybe his ID number, okay, he's there's no ID number. Maybe I put A. Maybe his name, maybe is Ronaldo, and maybe he's from Portugal. So I put new. Notice over here. Okay, so this is acts like a system. You can put this as a system that can auto link with the data over here. Okay, so if just say you are conducting any events, or you are having you want to make a system in your Excel, you can use the form control. Okay, all right, so I'm done with this. All right, so next go to the next one, which is conditional format. Okay, so conditional formatting is, I believe that some of you have already know this, but for some of you who don't really know this, okay, let me show you this example. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to highlight this data. So just say we have students. These students, they have taken subjects such as English, maths, science, accounting, and finance. So we want to know if just say the student get just say more than 79, okay, more than 79, it should be in green color. Let's say between 79, between 40 to 79, let's say yellow color, and below 40, it's just say red color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go to home. Okay, I'm going to go to the home tab. I'm going to go to the home tab. Can you see the word here for conditional formatting? Maybe you can type number 1 if you can see this. All right, perfect. Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. So you can highlight a cell, okay, maybe greater than. Okay, greater than, you'll notice this window will pop out. So like what I told you, whoever get more than 79, okay, whoever get more than 79, or maybe I put 80, or perhaps 79, it should be in green color. Green field with green text. Okay. And again, if just say I go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, less than. So when I put less than, just say less than 40. Whoever got less than 40, they fail the subject. So red color. And then if just say I want to know, okay, conditional formatting, highlight cell rule, between. Okay, between, okay, whoever got between 40 to 79, it must be yellow color. So this is actually for you to format. And also this can be done automatically. So you notice that there's an error. There's a careless mistake that you made. This student, he didn't get 99. Instead, he just say he got perhaps 45. So there's a changes in color. Instead of 16, maybe you notice there's a careless mistake that you make. Okay, there's an error in your data. You put 96, there's a changes in color. Okay, so basically conditional formatting, it will try to help you to highlight which cell is lesser, which cell is greater, which cell is between. Okay, there's a lot of function over here. Okay, so next I'll go to the very interesting one, which is pivot table. Okay, pivot table is very interesting because if just say normally if you are doing auditing, okay, you are auditing a company, you notice there's a particular data that's keeping being popping out. Okay, just say you're auditing a company like Arsenal, company like Liverpool, you notice that this data is being popped out regularly. You want to find the accumulated cost. What you can do is you go to you highlight this data. Again, I repeat, you highlight this data. You go to insert, and you can go to pivot table. Okay, you highlight the data, you go to insert, you press pivot table, or you can do alternate. Okay, you know the alternate button, alternate and V. Okay, alternate and V. So once you press pivot table, or once you press the keyboard of alternate and V, you can see a table over here. So can you see this table? Maybe you can type number 2 if you can see this table. All right, that's good, that's great. So you press OK. Okay, so you can click okay here. All right, maybe I put it over the rows, and then I can put the football club as the values. Okay, so instead of count, maybe I right click this. Okay, value settings. Okay, I can put sum over here, and there you go. Okay, sorry, it's not sum, it's actually ringgit. So you'll notice that in 2018, it's 31,000. Sorry, it's 311,000. In 2019, it's 253,000. In 2020, it's it's 500,000. All right. So now, what if just say I untick this? I untick this. Okay, I put a football club over here. Okay, and then I also put, maybe I put a year over here. Okay, just give me a minute. I start with a year, and then I put football club. Okay, and then I put RM. Okay, so you will notice that these data are being sorted accordingly. Okay, being sorted accordingly. Or also what you can do is, maybe you can unclick the year, and you can do this. So we know for the past 3 years, Arsenal had about 292, and Chelsea about 311,000. Liverpool has about 295, and Manchester United is the lowest of 180,000. So you can sort this data accordingly. So pivot table is basically, people ask me, Alan, what is pivot table? Pivot table is to provide a summary. So if just say, if you look over here, you have lots of data over here. You just want to know what is the total for Arsenal, total for Liverpool. You can just use a pivot table. Okay. So what if just say, to make things more interesting, what if just say you want it in a pivot chart? So what you're going to do is, you're going to highlight this. You go to insert. Okay. Can you see pivot chart over here? Maybe you can just type yes if you can see pivot chart over here. All right, that's good. So you click pivot chart. This window will pop out. Okay, when you click pivot chart, this window will pop out. Okay, select the table is based on this table. New worksheet. Okay, I'm going to go to the new worksheet. So this is a new worksheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the axis as date. Okay, and then okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the department as the filter. Okay, and then or perhaps the legend, if it's up to you, you can put it as a legend, or you can put it as a filter, and then the cost, I'm going to put it as values. Okay, so you will notice that for 20 and 2021, this is how it looks. Okay, so this is actually a presentable chart that you can share to your lecturer, you can share to your manager. How does it look? That means for administration, this is the figures. But you notice that this graph is not so presentable, right? So what you can do is you can just press right click. Okay, right click. Okay, hide all fill button on the chart. So when you hide all this, you're hiding this. Perhaps you can just put you can just remove the grid lines. Okay, and then you can put data labels so you can know the figures. Okay, this is 26,000. Maybe I can just put it in accounting format so it looks more presentable. Okay, so this is 26,000, 4,000. Okay, so this is how it works. Or maybe you can even change this into a filter function. Okay, you can put this as a filter. So you notice that this is a total. Okay, now if just say I want to know a department, just say marketing department. Okay, I press OK. So this is a marketing department. But you notice that it's very confusing, right? So what I can do is I press this total over here, equal, okay, total, equal, marketing. So now if you just say I want to know about maybe production, this is how it looks. So maybe I can just give a better presentation to my manager. I remove the grid line. I put the data labels. So we know that production for 2020, these figures. If just say I want to know about admin. Okay, so I click admin, I press OK. So there you go. All right. But also you can also make your presentation more interesting by just say, by clicking this data over here. Once you put your cell in this pivot table, you will notice there is a 2 extra tab, which is analyze and design. So if you can see this, maybe you can type number 3. All right, that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze this by inserting a slicer. Okay, I'm going to analyze this by inserting a slicer. So I click slicer. So maybe I put the department over here and I press OK. Okay, so this thing is over here. So you will ask this, Alan, what is the purpose of this thing here? So now if just say I put marketing, it will change to marketing. If just say I put production, it will change to production. If just say I put distribution, it will change to distribution. So if just see, you notice you can even change the color, maybe to dark blue. So to make it more nice, admin, marketing, production. So this is insert slicer. Okay, so this is how it works. So this is the pivot table and pivot chart. Of course, the next thing is I'm going to show Sparkline. Okay, what is Sparkline? Sparkline is actually a mini presentation of your graph, a mini graph presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the insert. I'm going to go to the insert. Okay, insert Sparkline. I can go line over here. I click line. This window will pop out. So I'm going to highlight this data. I press OK. So you'll notice that there is a graph function over here. So I put this down. It's a graph over here. Okay. All right. So this is a Sparkline. So basically, what is Sparkline? Sparkline is actually a mini graph presentation on the cell. So if just say I want to make it into a maybe a column, right? What I'm going to do is insert Sparkline column. So column, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. I press OK, and then I press Ctrl down. This is how it works. Basically, this is like a column. Okay, you can put it as a graph, you can put it as a line. Okay, you can put it as a column as well. Okay, this is Sparkline. Okay, so text to column. So we have three things before we proceed to the next thing. So text to column is actually you want to separate the data into three different cells. So now if you notice there's Alan, there's a space bar, 1996. So what if just say you want to separate this? Okay, you want to separate Alan and the numbers. You want to separate this Illingays and also the numbers. So how we're going to do this is you highlight all this data. Okay, you highlight all this data. Go to data. Okay, you go to data tab. You go to text to column. Okay, you go to text to column. Once you press text to column, this window will pop out. Okay, this window will pop out. So what you do is you press delimited because you're going to separate this by the alphabet or characters. So you press delimited. So once you press delimited, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to other function. I'm going to put dash over here and I put next, finish. So you notice that all this data over here is separated because previously it is under the one, it's under in one cell. So when I go to text to column, this window will pop out. I go to next, I go to other, I put the dash. Okay, what separates these two items? Alan and 1996, it is actually separated by dash. So if it's a dash, you put dash over here. If it is a comma, you put comma over here and you press finish, it's being separated. But now what if I want to separate this, but it's actually not, it's not a dash. Okay, it's not a dash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control this, I'm going to place this as value. So there's no dash over here, but I want to separate this. How I'm going to do this? Same thing, text to column. So once I press text to column, can you see here this fixed width? Maybe you can type number 4 if you can see this fixed width. Okay. All right, that's good. So just now I taught you on delimited. If just say there's a separation by comma, full stop, dash, you use delimited. But if just say there's no separation, you can use fixed width. You go to next. You'll notice there's all the arrows over here. Okay, my name is Alan. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go finish. My name is Alan. So this is for you to separate it. Okay, this is for you to separate it. So opposite of separating is to combine, right? So combine is I'm going to use the concatenate formula. Concatenate. Okay, concatenate formula. I'm going to use this. I'm going to combine this. Okay, I'm going to combine this, and combine this. But what happens if I combine all this together? You'll notice that there's no space, right? There's no space. So make it better, I'm going to use concatenate. Concatenate. This thing over here, I put apostrophe, space, comma. This thing over here, comma, apostrophe, comma, apostrophe. You notice that there is a space. Okay, so there's a space over here, space. So that's how you can do this. Okay, next is remove duplicate. Okay, remove duplicate means, okay, if you notice over here we have Arsenal, Chelsea. Okay, we have Arsenal over here, Arsenal again over here, Arsenal again. There's more than Arsenal. What if I just say I want a simple data? There's only one data only. Okay, one Arsenal, one Chelsea, one Liverpool, one Manchester. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to highlight this. Go to data. Okay, go to data. Remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. When I click this window will pop out. Remove duplicates. Okay, I'm going to click no. Okay, there you go. So we have one Arsenal, one Chelsea, one Liverpool, and one Manchester United. Okay, again, I repeat how I'm going to do this. Remove duplicate. Okay, so I don't want the number, I just only want the football club. Press OK. There you go. Okay, this is where you want the only one data only. Okay, right. Okay. So before I proceed, can you type number 5 if you can see this sheet? All right, that's good. So now I'm going to teach you on Control E. Okay, Control E, or maybe perhaps flash fill. So now if just say you notice that you want to combine the cell, so you can just type manually John Cena. Okay, maybe John Cena. Okay, And of course, don't tell me that you have to type this everything manually. Of course, now we have about 5 data. What if you have more than 100 data? You can't be typing this all manually. So what you can do is you press Ctrl E. So once you press Ctrl E, all this data will combine the first name and the last name. Okay. So again, I repeat, what you must do is you manually type the first data. So the first data that I want to type is John Cena. Okay. Then when I press Ctrl E, I can just automate the data accordingly. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay. This is Ctrl E, or you can go to data flash fill. Okay. You can go to data flash fill. So it's, if you have keyboards, you can just use this instantly. Okay. So next I'm going to teach you the last subtopic is the formulas. Okay. The last subtopic is the formulas, sum if, and also the lookup function. Okay, this is quite tricky. Okay, this is quite tricky, but I just want you to pay attention on example 18 carefully. Okay, so this is a bit tricky, so I need to teach you slowly. But for example 16 and 17, it's very easy, straightforward. I can just teach you instantly. So now I go to example 16. Okay, so now if they say we have this student list, you want to know who got the highest for just say English. So what you can do is equal sign max maximum. Okay, maximum, open bracket, close bracket. There you go. So you notice that the student who got highest for English is 62. So I'm going to drag this. Okay, that's how it works. Minimum, the same thing. I put min. Okay, min, open bracket, and the same thing. I'm going to highlight this. Okay, I can just press Ctrl R as well. Okay, and then you just say you want to use the large formula. Okay, maximum is to know who is the highest, minimum is to know who is the lowest, large formula is to know who is the second largest or third largest. So you just say I want to know who is the second highest. Second highest, I can use the large formula, open bracket, this will be the array. So I put comma, I put number 2. Okay, I put number 2 because we want to know who is the second highest. So the second highest got 48. Okay, Control R. So in this subject, the second highest is 95. Okay, small is the same thing. I put equal, small, open bracket. I highlight this arrow. Sorry, I highlight this arrow, all this thing, and then I put maybe the third smallest. So the third smallest is, the person who got the third smallest is 22. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this, and there you go. All right, so this is how you play around. Okay, sum is same thing. You put equal, sum, and there you go. You highlight this. This is the sum. This is the total for students. Okay, average is average. Average is the mean. So you highlight this, and you put here. Okay, so maybe if you want to understand what is the formula I use, I put here. Okay, formula text. Okay, I put this. So this is a max formula, mean formula. This is a large formula. Okay, the formula that I use is large. This one is I use the small formula. Okay, this thing is the small formula, large formula, mean formula, max formula. Here is the sum formula. Okay, maybe you can just dot this. Okay, what is the formula? Formula text. Formula text is basically for you to know, okay, what formula you use. Basically, this is a sum formula, and this is a average formula. Okay, so now what if just say you want to rank the students? Okay, you want to rank the students. Okay, what you do is you put an equal sign, rank. Okay, number reference. So this is the number reference. Okay, I press F4. Okay, later I'll explain to you why I press F4. Once I press F4, I close bracket. You know that this student got number 4 in his class. And who is number 1? So the number 1 is this student over here, Lionel. He got number 1. Okay, so this is how you use the rank formula. Okay, open bracket, you put the rank, open bracket, and this is the numbers. Okay, so this is basically the formulas that you use. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to teach you is the sum if formula. Okay, the sum if formula. Okay, so what I'm, let's say you want to know the total for a particular city. So you notice that in this example, Arsenal and Chelsea are located in London. Liverpool and Everton is located in Liverpool. Manchester United and City is located in the city called Manchester. This is their average revenue collection. So what if you want to know the total for a particular city? So what you can use is, you can use the sum if formula. So if just say I want to know for London, how much collection they made. So what you're going to do is, you press equal sum if. Okay, sum if, you click here, open bracket, there'll be the word called range. So the range is, this is our range. Okay, maybe I put here, this is actually our range. Okay, or you can just highlight this, because we want to know the London and also the values. So this is the range. Criteria. Criteria is here, London. Okay, this is the London criteria, comma, sum range. Sum range, you only highlight the data. Sum range, you only highlight the data. So once I click that the data, I press F4. So when I press F4, you notice there's a log formula over here. Okay, I lock it, I press close bracket. Okay, you notice for London, it's 464,000. And if I press Ctrl down, you notice for Manchester, it's 344,000. But you can double check. What if there's an error? So from here, if they say I put this, the value is 1 million. Okay, 1.09 million. And I put here, it's noticed that the same million. Okay, same values. So for London is you can use is 464,000. So how I'm going to do this is equal sign sum if, okay, range. So range, I'm going to highlight London and also the entire data. I press F4. Criteria is this criteria, London. Then sum range, I'm going to highlight this, F4 and close bracket. Okay, later I'll explain to you why I use F4. Okay, I just put it later. So this is how you use the sum if formula. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you the Vlookup formula. But before I teach you the Vlookup formula, I want to teach you the F4 formula. Okay, or purpose of using F4. Okay, F4. So if they say, okay, now we have companies such as iPhone, Samsung, Huawei, and Vivo. So now normally in accounting, we will have the item net profit, then tax rate, and then after that, profit after tax. Okay, maybe I put this profit before tax. Okay, profit before tax and profit after tax. Okay, this thing is moving. So what I do, I press this value and okay. Okay, there you go. All right. So now if they say, what happens if I don't press F4? So now I put this, okay, this is a tax. I multiplied with profit before tax. Okay, notice that the taxation is 500. So now when I copy this and Control R, notice there's no value. Why? Because the Excel just follows the formula. And you notice that I never log this. So the purpose of F4 is basically to log the formula. Okay, to log the formula. So what I'm going to do is equal taxation, right? Taxation. I press F4. So when I press F4, can you see that there's a $2 sign over here? Okay, maybe you can just type yes if you can see the $2 sign over here. All right, so this is the purpose of this F4. Okay, what is F4? Okay, if you are using your laptop, you'll notice there's F1, F2, F3. I mean the keyboard, there's the top of your button. Okay, top of the keyboard, there's F1, F2, F3, F4. So if you don't really know where's the F4 is, if you notice there's a number 4, okay, in your keyboard, there's a number 4. Above the number 4, there is a keyboard F4. So now when you press, okay, again I repeat, equal, I press F4, I press multiply by profit before tax. So you notice that, okay, it's the same. But now what if I press Ctrl R? All these outs automatically. So it's just Huawei's profit, you just multiply with the tax. You just say Vivo, you just multiply with the tax. So because we log this formula, that's why it pop outs automatically. Okay, so this is how you can perform your data automatically. Or to give you another example so that you can just understand. Okay, back to the example again. The nasi lemak, price of a nasi lemak in Perak is 1 ringgit, Selangor is 2 ringgit, KLCC area is 4 ringgit. So now I'm going to use this, highlight this, and I go here. So now when I multiply, one nasi lemak is 1 ringgit, 100 quantities is 100 ringgit. So when I copy, I paste, you notice it's not same, not same, not same, not formula, not uniform at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log. Okay, this thing I want you to pay attention carefully. Okay, I want you to pay the attention carefully. So now when I press F4 and I put this F4 again, okay, maybe I put here F4 again, you'll notice that when I copy this, all will be 100. Why? Kenapa pula semua 100? Because you log this cell and this cell. Because you notice the $2 sign, there's $1 sign on the alphabet B, and there's $1 sign on number 15. Okay, so that's why it's being 100. So now how to make it uniform? So you press equal sign again, you go over here. Okay, now we want to log the data on row 15. Again, I repeat, we want to log the data on row 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press F4. Okay, first time I press, there will be $2 sign. Second time I press F4, there's the dollar sign only towards the 15, only towards the 15. Okay, and then I press multiply by. We want to log only on the column A. So I'm going to press F4. There's $2 sign. I'm going to press F4 again. There's $1 sign. I'm going to press F4 again. Okay. So in this case, it's logged towards A19. So when I press this, copy, paste, you notice it's uniform. One nasi lemak in KLCC is 4 ringgit. Quantity is 300 means is 1,200. One nasi lemak in Selangor is 2 ringgit. 300 quantities means 600. Okay, so this is how this is the purpose of using F4. So if you want to understand what is F4, whenever you press F4, there is a dollar sign. That is F4. The purpose is to log, okay, to log the cell. Okay, so now let me go to the last part, the final part, which is the lookup formula. Okay, so if you notice the example that I showed you earlier, okay, if you notice this example that I showed you earlier, okay, the first example I showed you, the data validation, of course, I taught you initially, but you notice that when I type, just say Manchester United, there's a changes over here, changes this data over here. So what's the magic? How I do this? I'm going to use a Vlookup formula to show you how I did this. So like what I taught you initially, I go to data validation, allow, list, okay, go to the source, highlight all this data over here, and there you go. So now we have a list, Aisha brand, MLabs. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to do Vlookup formula. Vlookup, okay, Vlookup, lookup value. What is lookup value? The value that you want to find. So we want to find the value for MLabs. So this is your lookup value. Okay, table array. So when I press comma table array, I'm going to highlight this entire table. Okay, I'm going to highlight the entire table. Okay, and then I press comma. Okay, and then if you notice column index number. Okay, column index number refers to this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column. Again, I repeat, this is the first column. Okay, the name. Okay, why it's the first column? Because left hand side, first, second, third. So just say I want to know the third column, and I put false. Why false? We want to know the approximate match. You'll notice for MLabs, okay, MLabs. Okay, maybe I just can do this. Just give me a minute. F4, there you go. Okay, for MLabs, you'll notice that, okay, no, sorry. Okay, sorry. This thing is over here, is in formula. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, there you go. So you notice over here, MLabs is 2.1. Okay, you just say I want to know about maybe perhaps Astral. Okay, there's a company, Astral Asia Berhad. So I click Astral over here. You know that number is 26.4. Okay, but what if they say I want to change the financial year as well? This is when you can use the keyboard shortcut of the formula of index match. So how I'm going to do is, okay, this is quite complicated. Not to say complicated, it's quite tedious because there's a lot of formulas. I want you to pay attention carefully. Okay, so are you with me? Please type 6 if you are with me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the index, open bracket. You see the word here, array. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the entire array. Okay, this is the array. I'm going to highlight this, comma, row number. Row number, I'm going to put match formula. Okay, row number, I'm going to put match formula, open bracket. Okay, for row, this is the match because this is located on the row side. This is actually the column. Name, financial year is the column, but all the companies over here is the row. So I'm going to put the lookup value as the row. Lookup array will be from the name, companies, F4, 0, because exact match, auto bracket, okay, comma, match, okay, lookup value. This lookup value, okay, again I repeat why I put here, because this is column number, okay, this is the column number. So column number refers to name, financial year. This is the column. So I'm going to use match because I want to match it. Lookup value, okay, lookup array means which column I want. I want this column. For 0, auto bracket, there you go. So you notice that for PCCS, it should be 438. So now you just say I want maybe for financial year 2017. So it's 484. If you just say I want perhaps Lee Swee Kiat. So Lee Swee Kiat over here is 7474. Okay, so this is how you use the index match formula. So to show you the example, what I did is I go to insert, I go to this box, I create one box. Okay, this box over here, I put equal sign, I put it over here. Okay, equal, this thing over here, and there you go. So this is 74.4, but let me put some magic. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to perhaps change the color, make it more nice, bold, and perhaps put dark color. So now you can make a magic. So now you just say, I want to know perhaps for 2019. So least week here, 2019. Okay, this is not popping out. Okay. Perhaps I'm going to put it smaller. Okay. All right. Because the number is too big. All right. Now it should be for financial year 2019. It's 101. Okay. If you just say I want maybe for Asia guys, Asia brands. There you go. Okay, so basically this is how I play around the data. But I noticed that index match sometimes is quite confusing, right? It's quite big because you have to use index, you have to use match. It's very, very hard work. You know, you're working hard. What if just say you want to work smart? So you can use the dget formula. So dget formula is the simplest version of index match. So I want you to pay attention carefully. So I'm going to use equal dget. Okay, maybe I just remove this first. Very confusing. Okay, equal to dget. Okay, dget database. So what's your database? This is your database. Okay, this is your database. I'm going to press F4. Fill. Okay, what is your fill? Okay, this is your fill. Financial year 2017. This is your fill. And what is your criteria? This is your criteria. Okay, you press F4. Of course, you will ask me, Ellen, why are you highlighting the name and also the company? Because this, okay, for dget formula, the first top left cell is name. So you have to put your name and you have to highlight this. That's how the dget formula works. So because like if you notice other formulas when I use this, I just highlight the cell. There's no name over here. But in dget, you must have the name over here. Because why name? Because this database, the first cell is name. So you have to highlight the name. Okay. So I'm going to put close bracket. And there you go. So least week yard is 74.9. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you next magic. Okay, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste and I'm going to paste Ctrl R. Okay, so now how am I supposed to create a graph, a manipulative graph? Very simple. Alternate F1. Okay, you can use the keyboard shortcut of alternate F1. That means instead of just going to insert, going to create a chart, what you can do is you highlight this. Again, I repeat, you highlight the data, alternate F1. So the moment you press alternate F1, you can get a graph instantly. So that means you highlight this, alternate F1. Okay, the keyboard shortcut of alternate F1, you can get the graph instantly. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put here, okay, I'm going to right click. I'm going to change this chart type because it's in a bar, it's in a column. So I want to put it in line. Okay, I want to put this. Okay, and then I want to remove the grid line. I want to put data labels. Okay, and then I want to select data. Okay, just give me a minute. Hold on, let me upkeep this. Select the data. Because why I select the data? Because you notice there's 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. So I want to select, I want to put as the according to the year. So financial year 2017, 18, and 19. Okay, I press OK. Okay, and then the chart title, I go here, equal to least week chart. Okay, this is how it works. Now I just put here. Okay, so of course you can't see this. I put this here, and now I'm going here. I'm going to go to the drop-down list, Zealand Berhad. There you go. Maybe I put Asia, Austral Asia. There you go. If they say I put perhaps Sarawak cable. There you go. Okay, so this you can do this to your lecturer, you can do this to your manager, and this is what they call as the magic. But in reality, it's auto related to this. Okay, you can just cover this, or maybe if you don't want to cover this, what you can do is, okay, the other tip is, what you can do is press white color. When you press white color, you can't see this, and you press this as white color. So no one can see this, or maybe I put as no fill. So no one can see this. But in reality, there's a number over here. In reality, there's a number, but no one can see this. So when you do this, people think it's a magic. Okay, but it's actually, there's a trick over here. Okay, so I have ended all my session. So next, I think it's a Q&A session. Am I right, Miss Joyce? So I think, yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Sorry, just for a while. Okay, thank you, Mr. Allen, for your valuable insights on fundamentals of Microsoft Excel. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's talk, and we wish to thank Mr. Allen for being with us today and sharing his expertise and knowledge with us. Okay, so yes, been a great pleasure having all of you with us today. So we would like to extend our sincere apologies for any inconveniences caused. Hope to see you again, and thank you.